Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're well. Back in the conservatory again, as you can see. We've been relegated here. All cushions, hundreds of cushions. Yeah, some weekend that way, eh? Brilliant weekend again. I think it's kind of one of them weekends that had something for everyone, awesome. It were. Um, we'll start. We got your flasks. Got pages again. Yeah, you might need some backing up as well. I don't know. It's going to be a long one. It is. Hey, we'll start with Friday. Um, so some races, there was that much going on. I looked through every race, so there were some notable performances there that probably not going to cover here. Some will skip through a bit, like the Great Wood Hurdle. Not even watched it yet. I haven't, so you know. Yeah, we'll start with Friday then. 2 mile 5, Grade 2 Novice Hurdle. Yeah, us Ramblers were on Captain T gear 4 to 6, solid in the market at 4 to 6. Fortunately, he went down by a length and a half to Minella Missile, with the big Doyen a further half a length back in third. These three were well clear. Kimbara took them along gear. Captain Teague sat second and Doyen tracked him through. The winner, Minella Missile, he sat last. Captain Teague, he got in close to second. Kind of kept that order for a while. A great leap at the fifth. He sort of took it up, and I were hoping here he'd kind of sort of press on and make use of that stamina. But Kimbara came back at him and sort of narrowly retook it. The lead back up at the sixth. Minella Missile, he moved up a place and sort of tagged onto the leading bunch at this stage, travelling well. An error 4 out didn't help Captain Teague, but ultimately didn't make the difference, did it? And turning for home, Minella Missile, he kind of ghosted up the inside there, travelling well. I think coming to the last, they were like 3 in a line, and Captain Teague were travelling third best at that point. He stayed on well, but Minella Missile stayed on better, and he won snug at the line. Captain Teague is a great big chasing type, isn't he? Looks a bit of a baby, almost too big for hurdles. He's a 3 mile chaser next year, isn't he? I were a little disappointed with this, but on reflection, he's won a Grade 2, he's come second in a Grade 2, and he's going to be a much better horse, you'd imagine, next year for a fence. After this, well, to be honest, I didn't have him on my mind for Cheltenham before this, but certainly not after this. So. The winner, though, Minella Missile, he's not to be underestimated. He's won a point-to-point maiden and a Grade 2 now. He's got the track form, which counts for plenty. And yeah, I'd see him maybe as a Bartlett contender, and he shouldn't be underestimated. Saying that, I kind of think, say if a horse such as Mahone's Way had come across for this, I'd have fancied him to beat the lot of them. And you'd imagine there may well be a few better than him in Ireland yet to come out, so I'm saying don't underestimate him, and I'm kind of underestimating him, but yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? You can't cross him out. He's going to be a contender there for now, at this moment in time anyway. So then we'll move on to Saturday. Saturday was brilliant. What a day Saturday was. It was just a better day for us Ramblers, and just like I said, there was something for everyone. They were well punted in favourites. Favourites getting smashed in, going in left, right, centre. It was like a bloodbath. The bookies took a bit of a beating there, didn't they? And that doesn't happen all that often on Saturdays. It was good. It was good. I only had 2 bets myself. We both won like, and yeah, I think there was something for everyone this day. It was great. It was a good day. We'll start with Cheltenham. Now, I've got to give a shout out to one of our Ramblers there, one of our fellow Ramblers, Kev. He told me about this horse, Burdett Road, before its debut, and he had a bit of 33s about this for Triumph. I was like, English horse in Triumph, I mean, nah, couldn't be having it. I saw him on his debut, I watched him, and, you know, he won well, but he jumped sketchy, and to be honest, I thought, he's a bit of a lunatic, this horse, you know. To be fair, I still think he's a bit of a lunatic, I do, but he's got some talent, hasn't he? Yeah, this race, they were complete carnage at the first, weren't they? Paris start, he just didn't like the look of that first hurdle at all, did he? He got rid of his jockey and just wiped two out straight off the bat. Burdett Road, he jumped off last, he was keen. You know, Harry, he did a good job trying to settle him. He got lit up approaching the third and just ran through it. He flattened 4 out. He jumped 3 out, still spotting leader 10 lengths or so. And after jumping the second last, Harry, he kind of let the handbrake off there. And he made eye-catching ground running down the hill up the inside, didn't he? He was 4th, swinging for home, travelling strongly. He kind of fumbled over the last, still swinging, and he just stormed up the hill under hands and heels. Impressive. James Owen's got a good horse on his hands here. He has. In the last few years, the English is, you know, have they had one in first 10? I don't know. In Triumph Hurdle, but they've got one here. They have. He's got that all-important course form, and yeah, he's a player for the Triumph Hurdle. Yeah, he's a player there. Won't mind a bit of that 33s anyway, Kev. I think Nicky. I've got a feeling Nicky might have one this year too. So, you know, English will put up a bit of a defence there. Don't know what the Irish have got yet, do we? But yeah, I won't mind a bit of 33s anyway. He was good. Yeah, an honourable mention to Broadway Boy. He were well punted. He were another one for punters, weren't he? Got battered. Impressive display of jumping and galloping. This guy, he just looks on quite a steep upward curve to me. Shades of the real whacker about him. I'd say he'd stay all day, 4 miler. So RSA 4 miler. Yeah, he's got to be a contender there. And he's got the track form as well, hasn't he? Paddy Power Gold Cup. Stage start, beat not long till May, 4 lengths. It's with the Turners 1-2 again. I've got to admit, I underestimated that race, that Turners. I thought I thought it was piss poor, to be honest. I weren't sure what the form were worth. Yeah, we've seen it. It's worth plenty, isn't it? I was a bit concerned going into it. I knew Paul would have this horse ready to run for its life, but I was a bit concerned, if you remember, about the Real Wacker being here. I wondered if he went off at a mad clip, would that harm his chances, but it didn't. They kind of went a sensible pace all the way around, and the Real Wacker weren't tuned up as I suggested. So he never really got clear, did he? Stage Star and the Real Wacker, they kind of shared the lead throughout, but Stage Star, he was always travelling easier, weren't he? He jumped fantastic here. 4 out, the Real Wacker started feeling the pinch a bit and dropped away, sort of 3 out. Stage Star, to be honest, always looked the winner here, didn't he? All the way through the race. He made a complete mess of the last. That was maybe the one place he didn't look the winner. Wow, he did remarkably well to stay on him there, Harry. He had a good day. He ran some good races, didn't he? And yeah, he did remarkably well, really, to recover from that and stay on so strongly to the line there. Yeah, always look the winner. This was a classy performance, this, and he's a big Ryanair player. He is. He's got a fantastic Cheltenham record. I did have a look after the race. I was thinking I'd like 8-1 on my mind. Maybe that was a bit ambitious. The best I saw was 6s, and I thought I'd let that go. And to be fair, I think he's maybe 9-2 best now. I'd have this guy right at the top on my shortlist for the Ryanair after that performance. I thought it was brilliant. He's a young up and coming one, isn't he? I mean, from the Ryanair, obviously we've got Allaho there. He's a legend, isn't he? He is. I love Allaho, but you know, he's going to be 10. He has still got questions to answer for me at this moment in time. You wonder even if he's even going to get there. Like, if he does, they're going to go some pace in this, aren't they? They are, especially if Banbridge turns up as well. I mean, that's 3 of them there. Maybe the ground. If you come up goodish ground, I mean, his big performances, Stage Star, have come his soft ground, haven't they? To be honest, it's clearly the bet for the Ryanair this season, ante-post. It was Stage Star when he was like 16s or so before he ran in this. I missed that now. I'm kind of just happy to leave the race for now. And, you know, could be day of the race, even, like when I've a bet in it. I don't know. We'll just see what develops, but I can just see me sort of playing that one quite late now. You play this ante-post game, don't you? You get the nice prices there, but there comes a point when you miss the prices for horses you kind of like, where I think the smart thing is then to wait until nearer the time when you've got a better idea and you've seen everything, all the forms on the table. You've hopefully got some idea what the ground's going to be like, although it can change day to day, can't it? And yeah, at that point it's about getting the winners, isn't it, rather than getting the price, you know. But yeah, for me, this fella, he's in the box seat now for the Ryanair. That was good. That was really good. Real Wacker, wouldn't be writing him off after that. He did come back with a gash and he came back lame, and as I kind of suggested, you can't go into these fierce handicaps half cooked, can you? And I think that's what he did there. can't get away with it, not unless you're like classes above them, you know. So I wouldn't be writing him off. But you know, as far as Cheltenham goes, he can't beat Jerry Cullum for me. And yeah, I mean, I don't think he can beat Stage Star either. So, you know. So that's that, yeah. Yeah, good race. It were a good race. Yeah. It's easy after, isn't it? But I do kind of think I might have missed a trick with that one. Probably should have been on Stage Star. Certainly, if the real Wacker weren't there, I think I'd have been on him. I'm kind of looking at him ever since the betting opened up. But hey. So we'll go to the van. Yeah, this were a good race. The maiden hurdle, good race for us ramblers. This stellar story. Absolutely mullered in the market. This from an opening 7-4 the day before. 7-4. They opened this horse into 4-7. Yeah, he landed some punt for us ramblers here, didn't he? He won't be 5 lengths or so from Largy Summit. Can't read my notes there. There's a few Largies, isn't there? Largy Summit. And Bow Walking were back in third. Yeah, stellar story. He settled in the lead. He had Bow Walking on his girth, sort of keeping him honest the whole way round. 3 out, Bow were pressing hard there, weren't they? And between the last two, they really got racing. There was just a moment there you kind of wondered. But stellar story. As suggested, strong stay of this, and he just broke Bow Walking. And he just went clear after the last. It's a really, really strong staying performance, this. He's got a good attitude. He's going to make a cracking staying chaser, he really is. And he's got to be an Albert Bartlett contender, he has. Yeah, he did that well. Oh, good. Grade 2, Liz Mullen Hurdle. This was brilliant, weren't it? So you don't have to have a bet in a race, do you, to enjoy it? Some races, they just transcend all the betting and everything, and this was one of them. Bob Ollinger, by a hard-fought length. Hard-fought length. Bob Ollinger. Oh, that was brilliant, weren't it? It just were. Yeah, owned by the Lee. He led by 4 lengths or so, he took them along. Zanaye kept company with Bustleton, tracking him through. Rachel just settled Bob in the rear, just waited. Nothing much happened, to be honest, for most at race. Owned by the Lead tried to stretch him a bit from 4 out, make use of his stamina there. The field, they all kind of bunched up 2 out. They were like 2 lengths separating the whole field at this point. Zania moved up sides lead, didn't he? Just swinging there. But Rachel was there just waiting, stalking all the time. She was stalking Jack. The run to the last, they were like, what gap? And she just kind of smuggled him into the lead through that gap, didn't she? Awesome ride, Rachel. It were. And thought, oh, go on, Bob. Here we go. Owned by the Lee. No disrespect to Owned by the Lee or connections, like, yeah, you know, but he battled back, didn't he? And thought, oh, here we go again. He's just come there swinging, hit the front and found nothing. And I felt sad. In that moment, I just felt sad. But Bob, he put his head down, didn't he? And he battled, and he got back up. He did. I felt emotional watching this race, and that's what this can do. This sport we've got, this awesome, awesome game we have. Yeah, it was magical. It was special. No bet in the race, and yeah, just it was just special. It were. What happens from here, I don't know, and to be honest, I don't care. It's just he's had that moment there, hasn't he? It'd be nice to see him go on. It would be lovely, but yeah, that were good. It were. Hey, what a day this week! Were a great day, weren't it? Grade 2 for Tria Chase. Captain Guinness beat Riviere de Tel 7 lengths. Dysart went into clear lead here, as is his wont. But Captain Guinness always had him in his sights. Sat in second. Travelling well. Out jumping him. Jumped to the front 2 out and just stretched clear. Fantastic jumping performance. Fantastic horse this for Connections. He just runs his race every day. He's 8 now, and to be honest, I don't think I've seen him. I put that maybe his best performance. I don't know. It's like he's, back end of last season, this run here. It's like he's still improving. Behind El Fabiolo and John Bon, this guy's take care of the rest. He's like the third best, I'd say now, clear third best. Yeah, great horse. As for Dysart Dynamo, I don't know. He folded tamely here, didn't he? I don't know. Don't know what they do with that horse. Good luck with that one, Willie. I don't know. $3.15, 3:15. Got a bit 8 to 11 for this, but yeah, that's by the by. But Fassar Vega beat In the Pocket, nearly 4 lengths here. St. Felician, he took them along, tended to jump left there, didn't he? Fassar Vega kind of sat second. He weren't great at the first, and there were a few sticky leaps in there. But he was always going well. He moved up powerfully between the last 2 and just sort of got in a bit close to the last, putting a short one there. And then he just tanked home, didn't he, after the last. Yeah, this were good. He'll maybe have to sharpen his jumping up a little. That'd be the one little negative, I guess. But El Fabiolo, he weren't great way first time out. And this horse, he's got no jumping experience. He's got no jumping background, no point-to-point experience. I mean, these point-to-pointers, they're in shop window, aren't they? They're intensively schooled, and they have all this experience. French horses, they're the same. They're jumping, 3 years old, they're jumping. These fellas got none. So that was like, he's entitled to improve plenty on that. He's a stunning looking horse, isn't he? He is. He's awesome. From 4 out to the last, when they got racing, he were really good. I thought he jumped 4 out, 3 out, 2 out well. It was kind of safe at the last. You don't mind that them getting in a bit close. You know, it teaches them, doesn't it? You know, that's fine. And when you've got an engine like that, you can afford to do it as well. There's some engine under that bonnet. The key thing here he's settled for a fence. He's not just trying to run as fast as he can for 2 mile anymore. He's settled. And that's, you know, over hurdles, you know, the tank, he was kind of running on an empty almost after the last. The fact he's settled now, he's grown up, matured, he's settled. That's going to enable him to show his full ability now. He's got all that petrol left for after the last, whereas he didn't have last season. This, for me, this took me back to that Facile Vega that we saw when he burst onto the scene in that Leopardstown bumper. He's back. He's back. I think he's special. I do. I'm just in love with this horse. I can't help it. He's just... There's moments, isn't there? There's moments in a race that just for a second or two, or even a split second, you just see something in a horse and it's kind of etched into your mind there, sort of seared into your mind. And it's just when he came there between the last two, and after jumping the last, the way he just powered clear, like he'd just joined in. Something about this horse, he's got the swagger. He's just special. I think we're going to see the real Facile Vega now. And yeah, I think he's special. I loved it. I did. Yeah, basically he's grown up now. I mean, as well as physically, I mean, he's some specimen to look at. But it's his mind now. He's settled, and like I said, that's going to enable him now to have that powerful finishing effort that we're kind of lacking over hurdles. I suppose the way he jumped, if you're going to nitpick, just leaves the door slightly ajar for the turners still. I'm hoping Christmas time he can just slam that door shut, you know. I think he nearly has. Yeah. That were good for us ramblers, it were. There were plenty more to take from this race. It weren't just about one horse. In the pocket, he were never really exactly put in the race, I don't think. I think he was kind of getting an educational ride here. He'll be ready to rock and roll next time, he will. That was an impressive debut, I thought. Spillane's Tower. He ran a huge race here. A huge race. We spoke about this horse a few times before. This was almost too good. Yeah, this was almost too good. I think I love this horse, and I think, to be honest, he might be a graded horse down the line, but you know, there'll be a handicap for him somewhere first, and yeah, I like this fella for an handicap, I do. Yeah, he ran a huge race here. I thought it was very eye-catching. Got beat 20 lengths in the end. Hopefully that's just far enough back there, you know. I think it should be. yeah, we're in danger of getting a bit too close at one bit. Verdant Place, another JP horse. He was in 6th, beating 46 lengths. He's had his 3 runs now. He's completed his education. He'll be ready to rock and roll now in a handicap sometime. So we'll keep an eye out for him. Obviously, he's like sort of 2.5 mile to 3 mile horse. Yeah. Yeah. It was worth the wait, weren't it? It were. The bumper. It's a cracking little race, weren't it? Spring Delamere won this by a head and a head, respectively, from My Trump Card and Apples of Brazil. Apples made the run in here, trapped by the other 2. 3 out, My Trump Card, he got outpaced, didn't he, when they quickened. Spring Delamere looked classier. I thought they were just that moment, you know, where I thought, yeah, this is a good horse. He took it up. And yeah, My Trump Card then really stayed on really strong, didn't he? Apples of Brazil, to be fair, he rallied to and came back, and it were kind of a bunch finish in the end. I think the winner's very good. I do, and I wouldn't take too much away from the other 2. It's tempting, you know, when you get 3 in a bunch like that. I think, oh, you know, none of them can be that good. I think these are three smart horses. They are. He's very Firefox into My Trump Card. I wonder if they're going to keep him to bumpers this season or go over hurdles now. I don't know. I'd imagine if they kept him in bumpers this year, could be a nice horse for the Albert Bartlett next year. But I don't know the plans there. Right then, Sunday, the Schleer. John Bon, he was good, weren't he? Won this by 10 length, best part of. Looked on really good terms with himself here. Yeah, the vibes were good, weren't they, before the race, and you can see why he did. He's that second over the first few, didn't he? First 5. Then he went on, kind of shared it a little bit. Top of the hill, change of pace there, and he just went clear. It were shades of Sprinter Sacra. Obviously not Sprinter Sacra, but it was that kind of ride, weren't it? He just won the race at the top of the hill there. He kicked on turn for home. The one thing about this horse, I'm not sure how well this horse gets home from the back of the last at Cheltenham. Just that moment there, he just treading water just slightly. I mean, he's entitled to that first run of the season and everything, but I've never been fully convinced about this horse with that hill at Cheltenham, and I've still got those doubts. But it's a clear second best. He's a big challenger to El Fabiolo, and, you know, I think El Fabiolo will have this horse. I think he'll eat him for dinner after the last. But, you know, he's got to get there, hasn't he? And he's got to not make a serious mistake, or this guy will be there to take advantage. Navan. So I didn't even watch the Great Wood. The ground had gone bad, so I weren't too fussed about Lucia in that. I think she came 3rd, didn't she? Navan, 2 mile mares, novice hurdle. Oh, we kind of hit the post here, didn't we? Yeah, Sunday, being on some roll, Sunday we had one winner, hit the post a few times, and he had a couple disappointed, so, you know, it happens, doesn't it? You can't, you know, it happens, it does. You can't do it every day. Yeah, Look to the West beat Bioluminescence here by a length. They were kind of well clear, 7 lengths clear, I think a third. Bioluminescence, both these were well backed, sort of market told the story. I think Willie's horse put in favourite, took a walk. Bioluminescence, you could have got 5s, one place. Well backed, these two into 94 joints. Look to the West took it up after the first and never saw another rival. Bioluminescence sort of settled in a share of third between the last two, set off in pursuit into second, always staying on but never really looking like getting there. So a nice run from Bioluminescence. I think she'll come on plenty for it. The winner looked a kind of sharper type to me and was impressive here, but she did shift right at every hurdle, which would be a worry for Cheltenham. But the connections did name check the Solarina, and that's obviously right-handed. She's 2-2. I think that will suit her lovely. Right-handed. She looks made for Solarina, and maybe Brighter Days Ahead might go there too, and she'll be a tough opponent for Brighter Days Ahead in that. Sorry, just gonna have to give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Sorry about that. I'm back. One day we'll get through one of these videos and nothing will happen, but one day. Yeah, she'll be a live playing that Solarina, she will. But as for Cheltenham, I'd have my doubts, like, you know. Right. Grade 3 Monksfield. This went better for us, didn't it? Croke Park. 11 to 10 first shows into 4 to 6. Won by just over 3 lengths there from Mel Munro. Mel Munro took them along. Croke Park was sort of settled. Third, fourth. Turned for home with 2 to jump. Jack kind of angled him out off the inside to wind him up for his challenge. It takes a little bit of winding, doesn't he? He got upsides jumping the last and then kind of powered clear in the last 100 yards or so, hit the line hard. Don't do anything quickly, this horse, does he? But he's a lovely looking horse, he is. He's a proper old-fashioned 3-mile chaser, isn't he? Jumped well here. He's going to make a cracking chaser next year, but he won't be a horse for like Cheltenham this year. He's kind of next year's horse. probably go for something maybe like the Lawlers and Ace next, I'd imagine, and he'll be a player there. But yeah, this is next year's horse. But he's a nice horse. He is. I like him. Yeah, he's nice. Right, Troy Town. This was a bit of a disappointment for us, weren't it? This Cocoa Beach took this at 20-1. Just over 2 lengths from heavily punted 4-1 favourite Limerick Lace. Coco were prominent throughout here. Took it up on the run to the second last, where Limerick Lace gave chase, but were never really getting there. Yeah, being a good servant, this Cocoa Beach, still only 8, I think. It seems to be around years, doesn't it? But yeah, it was his turn, and yeah, did it well. Nice. Jumped and travelled great through the race. Limerick Lace, this was like her first crack, weren't it, at a big 3 mile handicap, and it was a good first effort. She's on the improve, and she might have one of these in her. The first 3 home here had the benefit of a run, and you know, I think we saw over the weekend in that sort of ground, fitness plays a big part. So bearing that in mind, I thought Dunboyne ran really well here in 4th on his reappearance. He came 2nd in the Thyestes last year, and I imagine he'll be trained for that race again. And he's going to be a big player there, I'd say. He's off a £5 home mark at the moment, but you'd have to say he'd be like a solid each way bet for the Thyestes. Yeah, good run from Dunboyne this. Right, yeah, as for ours, I mean, Devil's Coach, man, he ran a strange race, didn't he? Never really going where he last, settled in last, made a mistake at the first. Never jumping. I don't know. I mean, he's ran well fresh. Noel Mead's not in the best of form. I don't know. You do this, don't you, you know, these horses, right? You think you get everything right for a horse, and then it just runs like that. And you're like, what have I missed? And, you know, sometimes you haven't missed anything. It's just, these horses, he's probably got like 16 physical issues we don't know about. Trainers sort of patched 15 of them up there, and the sticky plaster just fell off one. Happens, it does. I'm not sure quite how to explain that away. Possibly the trainer form, but I don't know. As for all those games, I mean, we were beat after 2, weren't we? With these 2, he would never jumping or travelling. Last year, he was savage first time out. You know, at this track, jumped and travelled, fantastic, over 2 mile. And he was never the same horse here. I think maybe it was possibly the ground. He has got soft ground form, but he's got plenty of form on better ground. I think maybe it was the ground. And on that basis, because I'm sure this were a long-term plan, I'm sure this were like 12-month plotted up job, this. I don't know. He'll train him for something again, but I'd imagine he won't want to take a chance with the ground again. So he ran a good race in the Galway Plate last year, came 3rd, and I don't think he were like on for the day. He might be next time. That might be. They might just work back from the Galway plate. At least they're going to get the ground light, there. So yeah, bit of a disappointing race for us. And then the beginners, and this didn't get any better for us. This were, this were like my kind of low point of the weekend, I guess. Personally, from a personal point of view, like I mentioned, if I've got a fault, I can get a little bit blasé, especially when things are going well. I was in a good position going into this race, and I had a good opportunity really to sort of cement that position and make it a no-lose situation, but I didn't take it. I was a bit dismissive of American Mike here. I watched the race with my dad, and I was like, he's got one horse to beat, and he's like a mid-130s handicapper, this fucking American Mike. Gordon had been making some noises. To be fair, he's pretty straight, I think, in these sort of stable tours, and he did say he thought he might have this horse back, but I didn't believe him. I thought, I've got to see it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes, and I'm still struggling to believe it, to be honest. But yeah, American Mike took this anyway by 3 lengths from Fact to File, and it went miles back to the third. Let's go, champ. Give me your horse. Yeah, he took them along here, American Mike. Jumped and travelled great the whole way round. Tracked through by Fact to File. Second last Fact to File. He threw down a challenge, didn't he? And I was thinking, here we go. But he just sort of petered out. He kind of stuttered into the last. I think he just got tired there. Jack threw American Mike into the last. He got all the momentum there, and he just drew 3 lengths clear on the last. He is back, American Mike. Well, at least he were yesterday anyway. I think I'd have to see him do it again. But yeah, you couldn't fault him here. This was impressive. Gordon mentioned the Limerick race at Christmas, the 2.5 mile there, as a possibility. That'd be going to like Jerry Colombo, wouldn't it? I think that might be where he ends up the RSA. Browns. Yeah. For me, I just need to see it again. He was great there. But yeah, I want to see him do it again. But he were good. He does look a chase, he were nice. Fact to File. Oh, do you know, I was half watching this race. When I seen how he jumped like early on, I was half watching the race, and I was half loading up my accounts. Because I was like, my God, this is impressive. The way he was jumping and travelling. And I was thinking, we had 2 points Browns and a point Turners. I was thinking, this is Turners, this. The way he's jumping and travelling. Yeah, and he did, yeah. I mean, to say he's not jumped an obstacle in public before, that was awesome. He jumped and travelled beautifully. So one or two things here. Right. Either he choked, and by that I mean he didn't bottle it. I mean he's got a breathing problem or something. Loads of horses have breathing issues. It's the most common problem they have. So either he's got a problem with his wind, or it's just that it was his first run here. And, Willie leaves plenty on these horses. This time of year, it's like, I'd say the fitness of the string Willie's like where Gordon were 4 weeks ago, like a month ago, when they were running well, but maybe not quite getting home. And I think that's where Willie's are now. So it's a bit of a shadow here. The sun and that, yeah. Which, just going back to Facile Vega, yeah, I mean, he's going to improve a ton on that as well. So that's all the more impressive. But yeah, it could be that he looked to just get tired at the end. Moved through the race great. Maybe just got tired, I think. He could come on plenty for this. Do you know, I've not got an ante-post bet for you today, but if I'm having one, I've toyed with this, and I'm still sort of toying with it. It'd be another point on him at 20s for the Turners. But, you know, we've been making him one of our main bets for the race at that point, and I'm just not quite sure. It's just, you know, we've got like a point, we've got Mr. Policeman, we've got this fella, and we got Founder 50. I think Iroko, wherever Iroko goes, he probably wants covering. He could even be the main selection come the time. So we got him covered nice enough. Got a point at 14s. But yeah, I'd imagine he'll go on to beginners next at Leopardstown, and then on to that, what used to be the Moriarty at the DRF. For 90% of the race, I thought this was so impressive. I did. Give him the benefit of the doubt. And I mean, because this were a race, this were a proper race. American Mike was on it. He were bang on it, weren't he? I'd say, like, he's probably achieved more here in getting beat 3 lengths by American Mike than, say, Iroko did winning that race at Warwick. You know, this were a proper race, this. Yeah. Certainly won't be losing faith in this horse. Nearly went in again. He's a serious horse, I think. But yeah. So that was that. Yeah, so sun at that. And then, yeah, close the weekend out. Mares listed bumper. Got to the last one here. Yeah. Qualimeter. Market told the story here, didn't it? Qualimeter, evens, even shade odds on in places. Right out to 9-4. Only by night. Well punted into 5-4. Only by night looked the winner before the race, and everywhere during the race. Just always looked the winner. Took him along. Got a nice stride on her, this horse. She's got a nice stride on her. Watching her and Qualimeter. Qualimeter seemed to be going 2 strides to every one of this only by nights. She's a nice horse. Qualimeter, $500,000. Give her another chance. I think, the market told a bit of a story here. I think she might want better ground, just like watching her stride there. You could see a different horse on better ground. She kind of briefly threatened to come through with an effort. I guess all these horses will be on a collision course with Facile Vega's little sis, Aurora Vega, in these sort of spring mares bumpers. Yeah, and that were that. That were that. Some weekend again. Something for everybody, I think, you know. Performance of the weekend. Stage Star. There you go. You didn't expect that, did you? I thought Stage Star were brilliant. I did. Yeah, and I think, yeah, he was brilliant. talked about him. But yeah, that was some performance. That he was savage in that Paddy Power. He were jumping, travelling. Closely followed, of course, by Facel Vega. Yeah, he's special. He is. It's just that he's got that power now after the last that he didn't have last season. And we'll get a tie for third. American Mike and John Bon. John Bon were impressive. That were nice to watch. Just wonder about that after the last, from the back of the last up that hill. El Fabiello will eat him up. And American Mike, yeah, I mean that. I think that were a proper race. I think he had him fairly close to bang on for that. I think that might have been our fellas under in there, but he was great. I mean, you couldn't knock that. Jumped and travelled. He's a nice looking horse. Yeah, he's back, which is nice for connections. It is. And that's that. We've just about kept it under an hour. That's not bad. That's not bad. We kind of rattled through that a bit, didn't we? Things going to calm down a bit. I don't know. They're not. Because we've got this weekend, don't you? Galloping's back. He'll have been, I can imagine him, just sort of chilling in his box there, watching Jerry Colomb, all these people, saying, oh look, Gold Cup winner. Yeah, Galloping's just sat there watching him thinking, nah. We'll see, eh? Yeah, be nice to see him back. What a horse, Galloping. Big black beast. Yeah. So that'll be good. That's something to look forward to. So yeah, we have kept it under now. We've done good there. Right. So yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate your time. Some weekend day. And yeah, I'll see you again Friday. We'll do the Friday morning thing again. Okay. Alright, take care. Bye.